YouTube deleted my channel, I think like the end of 2018. And like I just kind of drank my problems away at that point because I didn't want to like take that next step. So I went to rehab twice. I ended up getting my YouTube channel back like probably 4 months ago, 5 months ago. So that was like a 2-year process of like arguing with YouTube. And that's basically like yelling at a brick wall because YouTube is just an entity that they don't care. Yeah. So yeah, it kind of like took some time to fucking work on myself. And like I started my YouTube at 18, so I was just kind of like young, dumb, and fucking wild. And I kind of had to like learn over the last few years how to like be an adult and like just take care of responsibilities. So it's been a couple of interesting years, but like I'm in a good place mentally finally. I'm in a good place like financially again and everything. So that feels good to be back on YouTube.
That sucks. 2 full years of no channel. And of course you're anxious as shit. You know, that's your livelihood and it's up in the air. You have no control over it. You know, that's why it is so scary, like working, like even working on Twitch or being a YouTuber, knowing that like just these arbitrarily enforced rules can come down on you anytime. And even if you are 100% in the right, look at what happened to Destiny on Twitch with like that person trying to fuck him over by showing a picture. Like it took him days and he has like 600,000 followers. Like, and then you see something like that and you're like, oh no, if I'm fucked. No, they're not coming to say hi to me. They're not going to, you know, they got 50 bigger people before they get to me to deal with. But anyway, the rehab thing is, was it the kind that you like, you live there in like a dorm for 30 days?
Yep. So I was in a fucking dorm room with 3 other dudes for 30 days. And like,
that must be
is everybody cranky because they're getting sober?
So angry. And I was like the only young person there for alcohol. So like most alcoholics are like, you know, 30s, 40s, and they're like, oh shit, my life's like going down the drain. Like everyone my age was on heroin or like, you know, other drugs like Xanax. So their withdrawal,
maybe
a little bit, yeah. I was like, fuck, like I wasn't even doing that much.
Old dude's drug.
But like their withdrawals are like 2-3 weeks. So like alcohol, your withdrawal is 5-7 days maybe. So they're withdrawing for the entire time, and by day 7, I'm like, all right, like let's go to class, smoke some cigarettes.
Wow, I did not know that. Pills get you fucked up for weeks after you stop them.
Very, very long times, and they get sicker than I did. So like,
yeah, of course. Was there anyone in there that like was trying to like sneak in their drug of choice?
Many people got kicked out for that.
Yeah,
because like this was like it was in the middle of a city. So it's not like, you know, some retreat in the woods or anything like that. So like people can just drive up to a window and pass something through a window, and all of a sudden it spreads like wildfire, and there's like 7 people that just got something off of one person. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was like a constant struggle for them, was like keeping stuff out of there. And like you're not there against your will. You can walk at any time. So a lot of the people that were going through those like 3-week withdrawals would walk on like week 2. So like they're halfway through it, they're almost done, and they're like, fuck it, I can't do it, just because they have one bad day. So
and then they have to, then they got to start,
and then it's a repeated cycle.
There's no save point. Then they have to start the whole, you know, 3-week withdrawal. That sucks.
And you pay fucking 20 grand no matter what. Like you have to pay the.
I'm starting a rehab tomorrow.
How did you get 20 grand? Did you pay it, or like did you have a family
insurance?
Member pay it? Insurance paid it. Okay.
Insurance.
Oh, it's even better. We want you to fail.
A repeat business. Yeah,
that's my problem with like rehab centers and IOPs. Like it's really important to detox people, but their goal is not to keep you sober forever. They want you to come back because it's a repeat customer over and over and over and over. So there's people in there that are like, it's their 9th rehab, and it's like something's not working here. Like this clearly isn't the path for you. It's working for the center.
The first time you went, I'm assuming 30 days because that sounds right. Is that not 30 days?
Yep, 28.
So like 28 days. So like 4 weeks. How long after that did you stick to it before you went back to, I guess, drinking or smoking pot?
Okay, so first rehab, I like the week out started dating a girl from the rehab center. Terrible idea.
Oh, that is an
Terrible
awful
idea.
We'll keep each other straight.
And
Hey, we're gonna be accountable for it.
Yeah,
We're just two friends who love heroin.
We had different drugs of choice, so I thought it would work.
but the same dealer. It was like
exactly. So like I lasted about 6 months. We broke up. I lasted like 2 months after we broke up, and then that's when I relapsed, and I relapsed for like 11 days. And when at day 11, I was like, all right, I'm going back. Fuck. So I checked myself in.
Can I stop you and ask you a question there? When you relapsed, what was the first thing you drank?
Oh, it's Bud Light Seltzer.
Okay. So,
those are pretty good.
See, that's what I wanted to know. I want to know if you were like, maybe I'll just have a little thing and see if I can handle it again. Is that what happened? You were like,
so
can I drink like a normal person? Can I just have a Bud Light Seltzer? I mean, I used to pound bottles of vodka. I can have a Bud Light Seltzer, right?
This is basically nothing. I need 5.
Exactly. So
it becomes like that. Yeah.
I was about a half gallon a day vodka drinker when I went in the first time. And then so I was like, yeah, fuck it. Actually, I saw an ad on Twitch for Bud Light Seltzer. And I was like, I've never tried those. Like, I loved White Claws. So on vacation, I was like, fuck it. I'm going to go have a couple Bud Light Seltzers. And then that turned into a case. Is that black cherry?
My favorite.
He's got eagle eyes.
Why would you show that to him?
Because
that's all part of it.
Now
we're past that now.
You're just gonna be like, oh man, that hits the spot.
I'm at a point now where I can go to a bar and comfortably not drink. Like I can have a lime and water.
Me too.
Like seltzer water.
That's great.
But so
Woody's got his alcoholism completely under control.
Like I'm settled.
Got both hands around that alcoholism problem.
Woody absolutely dominated alcoholism. They never even got a foothold. Ooh, gross. No, thank you. I'm sorry. Go ahead. So,
I have one more question before you continue. I don't mean to keep interrupting you, but I think it's fun to like pull.
No, I love the questions about this.
What you said you were half a gallon of a day of vodka drinker. That makes a lot of sense to me. That's if I were going to be an alcoholic, that's what I would do. Whenever I have drank a lot, that's what I did. Not half a gallon a day. That's a lot. But a lot still. Fifth a day. I've been there before.
Right.
Like Tito's.
Yep. That was my drinking choice.
A fifth a day is, if we're talking about normal fifth size bottles. Or I'm sorry, the half gallon
of a gallon.
Half gallon comes with a handle.
Yeah, and
it comes with a handle.
The equivalent of like 2 bottles of regular vodka and another half bottle, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So
how do you see? Were you drinking like sun up to sundown?
Yeah. So I would wake up at about 2 a.m. withdrawing with shakes, sweats, like terrible place. I would have to have about 3 or 4 shots before I stopped shaking and could go back to bed and get maybe like, I don't know, 3-4 hours of sleep. And then I'll wake up and same thing all day. Like every 20 minutes, I'd have a shot, maybe a double. So like it was real bad. And I would leave like a little teeny bit of the half gallon for the morning so I could like wake up, get some alcohol in me and go buy more.
Yeah.
So what were you like drunk? Like if I'm drunk, it's pretty obvious. Are you got it together? Do other people know you're drunk?
Oh yeah, I was living with a long-term girlfriend at that time, and it was most of the time apparent. Like, so I was functional drunk, but I would like cross a line, and then she would come home to me laying on the kitchen floor.
We just black out.
Yeah, I just black out entirely. Sometimes on stream, actually. Fell asleep several times on Twitch. Surprised I'm not banned and still partnered. But my audience was actually like at an all-time high. I think it was like Wing Syndrome, where everyone's like, let's watch this crash and burn. But yeah, I relapsed on Bud Light Seltzer. Within 11 days, back to rehab. 28 more days there.
How quickly did it accelerate after the seltzer? Was it like you had one seltzer on day 1 and you were like, I can't believe it, I stopped, I've got a handle, and then the next day it was like,
no. He didn't have one seltzer on.
I had a case on day 1.
Okay.
Day 2, I had probably about 2 cases, day 3, I was like, why the fuck am I buying so many cans? So I bought a pint.
What am I going to start recycling or something?
Yeah, like what the fuck is this shit?
48 cans. I look like an alcoholic. Give me a Tito's.
I'm reducing waste.
Now, when you're drinking a handle a day, you're ending up with a lot of glass. Do you turn those in for the cash? No, just toss them.
Yeah, my landlord was probably like, holy shit, someone's going really hard though, because there's like fucking 6 half gals stacked up.
That's something I've seen with extreme alcoholics before, who would drink, multiple bottles a day. Is like they would save that glass, and like that they're gonna need that to buy more alcohol at the end of the month.
I was gonna say, I think I was kind of financially in a place where I didn't have to because of YouTube. And like that's what my drug counselor always tells me. It's like, you were a pyro in a firework factory. Like you had all the resources to do nothing all day, and the resources to buy whatever you wanted. So like you put those together and it's a disaster. So that's why that situation, like all the resources to do whatever you want and all the time in the world to do whatever you want, that's like a superpower. You can use it for good or evil. Yep.
You can really take a left turn and just mess things up, or you can take a right turn and like make crazy cool things happen when you've got like plenty of money and all the time in the world.
Yep.
Yeah. Usually seems to be one of those extremes though.
It's going to be one of those extremes. We're human beings.
Either you're like, you just become like Elon Musk, or you're just like, I love booze. I love crack cocaine is my jam. I'm all about crack.
God, I want to try
party all year.
Don't you want to try some crack cocaine just once?
I'd love to lose a little weight. I love it.
If I was dying, maybe.
I think I'll clear. I don't know. Teeth aren't.
Every time I read about one of these drugs, I find them to be disappointing. And that's almost part of their danger. And again, I haven't tried them. I just read about it. But they're like, I took this drug, cocaine, and all it did is make me feel like I was on Adderall. It was like a bit of an upper. I was in a good mood. I was talkative. Maybe, it's a good version of me. I took heroin. And, it just made me enjoy my afternoon, even though it was yucky out. It made me just pleased.
They're underplaying heroin, I think.
Could be.
I remember when John Travolta was about to make Pulp Fiction, he was trying to figure out his walk, like how he was going to walk, because he's on heroin. He's like, what am I feeling inside? He wants to really embody a character who has a heroin issue, who's always high on heroin, and he's talking to someone who's on heroin. He's like, what does it feel like? Well, like how do you walk? And the guy said, do this. I don't remember how many shots of tequila he told him, but 4 to 6 shots tequila or something, and then get in a really hot tub. After 10 minutes, that's how heroin feels. And he's
that sounds awful.
Yeah.
First of all, you want to be dehydrated as hell. Get in the hot tub.
I hear heroin just as a be happy thing. It just makes you in a good mood. Right? Has anyone here tried heroin, Josh?
No.
No. I mean,
it's more of a chasing a dragon situation where like someone does heroin the first time or takes pills or whatever, and it's like that first high is so intense because it's brand new to your body that then you want to do it again, but it's not quite as good. But you remember how good it was that first time, and I think a lot of drugs are probably like that, where you're chasing that initial rush you got. Because like going back to Josh, obviously, like. I've been curious, like, so if you're drinking sun up to sundown, like very regularly, is it like 100% of the time you're just trying to feel not bad? Or is there a time when it's like, okay, I've got half of the half gallon in me, I'm feeling good now? Or is it just, okay, I feel less shit. I feel less bad enough that I can fall asleep.
No, there's a window. So like, I honestly think that's why like some heroin and alcohol users like understand, because there's a peak point where like you're not sick and you're not passed out and feeling awful, but it's just like pure euphoria. Mm-hmm. So there is a point, there is a window, but the rest of your day and the rest of your life is just like chasing. So
honestly, like the way you say like you have to wake up. You would have to wake up and take shots to fall back asleep. That sounds like hell on earth.
Yeah, think about waking up, taking 3 shots, and being like, okay, fuck, I'm starting to not shake. Oh, okay, I puked it up. Let's restart this process.
How extreme are the shakes? I would hate
that.
It was like I couldn't. So for the first 10 days in rehab, I couldn't write my name on a piece of paper.
10
Like,
days it lasted.
10 days. Yes. It's like this. Like
Very shaky.
it's like you have Parkinson's. Like it's very similar to those kind of shakes,
But
and they're
everybody's
uncontrollable. Oh my! It's almost kind of funny. So like, most people get like a benzo for like the first week, so you have like seizures, which I had 5. My second one, I had a grand mal the first night there, and then 4 preceding.
Dude, you were a good alcoholic. I thought for a second you were faking, right?
No.
Maybe you were just like. You just like
maybe you just wanted to blow 28 grand.
Yeah.
No, so before my first rehab, I had about 5 hospital stints. One of those was 9 days in the ICU having DTs, and I have a video on my channel about this.
I watched that video. It's scary.
You have like vivid hallucinations. Like I saw like, and it's like the deepest, darkest traumas in your life will manifest as hallucinations in front of you.
Wait, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Best
for
alcoholic
a week.
I know.
For a week.
I was hoping you'd see dragons and butterflies. You're telling me it's your worst nightmares.
I was watching the video on your channel of it because I was curious a couple weeks ago when you were going to come on, and it's just you sitting in a hospital bed, and it's just showing the camera pointed at the corner of a room, and you're like, do you see him? It's just there's a man hanging there.
Oh shit!
Right there, and it's like, and you're clearly out of it, hallucinating.
Yeah. And
then you like turn it to yourself, and you like you can tell that you think what you're saying is making sense,
right? But it's making zero sense.
Just erratic and like.
And the craziest part about that is like, so I still remember all of that. Like it's not like I was in a blackout for 9 days. Like I remember almost all of that, and like they would come in and like load me up on benzos, but it didn't. When I was conscious, like I was making memories, so it was crazy.
I don't think I know benzos. They get you high.
Benzodiazepines.
Yeah, they're very.
That's what
it's Xanax.
Peterson take.
Yeah, they're strong pills. They're mostly like muscle relaxers, but they're also anti-seizure drugs. So like if you're an alcoholic who's getting off a huge amount of vodka, like Josh was, you're in danger of seizures, and so they'll give you benzos. Like the hallucinations with alcohol, that's not something you hear about a lot. Like that's only when you were getting off of it in rehab. That wouldn't happen when you were actively drinking, right? Or would it? Like, would you wake up at 3 a.m, like before you took your shots, and you would be hallucinating?
Yeah, so like that's a part of withdrawals. It was nowhere near, like it was like shadow people. Like I'd see like a shadow that wouldn't be there. Whereas like
nightmarish.
Yeah, in the hospital it was like hallucinogenics, but like the worst trip possible.
It's just no fun.
Yeah.
What were some of the scariest things you've seen, whether either at the hospital or at home?
I mean, one of the ones that I always go back to, it was not even scary. It was just weird. Like the one you said, the hanging dude in the corner, that was pretty scary. I saw a girl running from her boyfriend who was like trying to fucking like hold her back, and she jumped through a panel in the ceiling and like crawled in, because it was like a paneled like stucco ceiling. Mm-hmm. So like she crawled through, and then I was like screaming at nurses. And nurses come running in. They're like, nothing's happening. Probably gave me some more fucking benzos. Mm-hmm. But there was this pillow. So they have anti-seizure pillow, like things that line the entire side of your hospital bed. And I was laying there looking at the pillow. And every time I would blink, something else would be in the pillow. So like I'd blink and it would be like an aquarium. And then I'd blink and it'd be like snakes. I'd blink, it'd be a dead body. I'd blink, it'd be butterflies. So like it'd literally go from like great to awful. Yeah, 100%.
I'm staying on butterflies.
To a point, I was like, aquarium, stop. But then I blink and I'm like, oh fuck, okay, now I'm onto the worst thing. So like it was just my mind playing crazy tricks, and
it's
like
anti-seizure pillow. Like I'm picturing like a, I don't know, like you're in a tub almost of pillow. That's not it.
No, so think of like a body pillow, but made of like plastic that people could probably vomit on, and you could easily clean. So like
how does
medical
it help
plastic
you with a seizure.
Keep
so
rolling out of bed, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say if I was having a seizure and thrashing, I wouldn't be hitting my head or my arms or anything on the bars or rolling out of bed.
So it's
so it keeps you in the bed. You're in like a cradle almost.
Yeah. Do you know what a baby changing table is like? It's kind of a little U-shaped thing.
Very similar.
When you're seizing, are you fully aware of what's going on in conscious?
No. So, well, minor seizures, yes. So the ones I had in rehab, 100%. Like the last couple, I was like very aware, but grand malls, entire blackout. So
I've only had one seizure. I fell off of an ATV onto asphalt and hit my head really hard. And there's no way to know if I was laying there for 1 second or 10 minutes before I came to.
My gosh.
But when I did come to, I was in a full seizure, like all four limbs, like going, my head going, and I knew what was happening because I'd seen a seizure before. And I just remember thinking, hope this ends soon. I'm rubbing my face on asphalt. Hope this ends soon. I'm rubbing my face on asphalt. And my face was already fucked up from like the accident. It took all the skin off here and all the skin off. Like the way like your ocular bone like makes that curve here.
Yeah.
You know, it's more bony. Like it took all that skin off in like a C. And then all the skin on part of like where my mustache should grow. Was
you didn't have a full face helmet?
I was in my underwear. Okay. I was wearing a pair of boxers and nothing else.
How old were you?
All right.
13, 14.
Checks out.
Yeah.
I didn't wear helmets all the time on ATVs.
Interestingly enough, I had a teeth whitening strip in, which is probably all that saved my teeth. I was
remove this after 10 minutes. Oh,
I was literally whitening my teeth before I was going to go out on this little like kid date. And I was like, I'll go for a little ride on the four-wheeler while this does its thing for 15 minutes. And like a wasp, because I'm in my underwear, like a pair of boxers, a wasp landed on my inner thigh. And in my head, I'm like, he's going to get my dick. And I like swerved and just came completely off the thing, like onto asphalt going 25, 35, somewhere in the middle of that, I would say, like not wide open or anything, but fast.
That's quick. That's very quick.
Yeah, quad.
And when I woke up, than they look.
They are on asphalt, especially on dirt. It would have slid, but on asphalt, it just bit down and tipped. And I hit one elbow and one knee. I don't remember which, but both of them had so much nerve impact that they were paralyzed for a short period of time. So when the seizure did stop, let's just say it was the opposite. So like right arm doesn't work, left leg doesn't work. It could have been the inverse, but in any case, I've got one leg and one arm, and I've got to like crawl to the ATV and tip it back over to get home because I need to go to the ER. I'm fucked up. So that was a fun day.
Now it doesn't matter how white your teeth are. You're missing an eyebrow, and you're not going to get any middle school pussy.
I was so gross for like 2 weeks. You said kid
date. Was the other person a girl, or was it like a play date with a guy friend?
It was like I was going over to a guy's house, and there were going to be two girls coming over to hang out with us.
Got it.
Yeah. They were all going to masturbate.
You fucked up that situation.
I did. I probably would have gotten to like grab some boobies or something.
Very nice.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, the one thing about seizures, so the one I had in rehab, I was in the bathroom and I was trying to turn the light on, and like super fucked up on benzos. So like I'm just crawling along a wall. I find the light switch, turn it on, seize. I wake up on the ground in some random dude's arm, who apparently heard me smack my head against the door and then fall like onto the concrete. My lips are blue, so like he thinks I'm fucking dying. They immediately call the ER. The ambulance is there in like 2 minutes or so. And because they were there so quick, like they were able to quickly kind of like resuscitate me. But like it's a straight blackout. You wake up and you're like, oh fuck, like I'm on the ground and I can't really feel most of my limbs. I used the walker for like I want to say 7 days after that.
Wow.
Because like your legs, your arms, everything is just so weakened. And they even had to cut because I had to have a CT head scan after that. And they cut the nose ring out of my nose using like metal clippers in the hospital.
Weakened? I don't think I missed something. A seizure weakens your arms and legs?
A grand mal. So because I had seizure after seizure after seizure after seizure, I was just like my body was completely weakened. I couldn't walk like even a step.
Hey, Woody, could seizures be like those electrode things that people put on their abs to like fake exercise?
I had a similar thought. I was like, does this count as cardio?
Yes, it does.
Right? Like you said,
that might be
2
what it is.
seizures a
like,
day, and you're ripped, buddy.
dude,
because your muscles are flexing.
I know a guy. All right, hold on. So my brother-in-law has a nephew. This guy, he has Tourette's syndrome, and it makes him go. He makes like a sound and a contraction, right? And he's like 7 years old, but he like all day long there's kind of this like. He picks up his shirt, fucking jacked, just like 8-pack at 7 years old, because like all day long he's just like exercising because of his Tourette's syndrome. Yeah,
dude, how do you induce seizures? Never mind.
No, you know what? You know what the best way to do it, Kyle, is? I'm going to put you on a strict half-gallon of vodka a day diet. You're going to maintain that for how long does it take? Would you recommend, Josh?
At least 6 months.
We're going to say 6 months, half-gallon of vodka a day, and you're going to be
missed medication, lack of sleep, stress, alcohol, and menstruation are some of the most common triggers. Menstruation, easily done. You're going to start with menstruation, and we'll work backwards from there.
I don't see a flaw in this plan.
Intentionally becoming an alcoholic
for the abs. Look at all the weight.
I'm gonna be so jacked.
And
then you find out that your seizures are like you like stumbling uncontrollably to the fridge and eating instead of the ab guys.
That would suck.
Yeah, that would be awful. But man, I'm glad you're doing much better now, Josh. That is a harrowing and scary tale. Like you never hear about the hallucination aspect of it. And
how long have you been sober now?
319 days.
At what point do you get to be the coach? Like when do you get a student of sobriety?
It was probably about day 100 for me.
So you have someone under your tutelage.
Yeah, I'm starting to see the flaw in this program.
How good was your coach? The first one.
First one was
Fakey
terrible.
Bob? Oh, he's great.
My first one actually relapsed on me. He relapsed, and that's one of the reasons that I kind of like fell off.
So your coach relapsed, and then you relapsed. Yes. Yeah, I think they should have more stringent requirements for coaching.
Do they do it by the substance, or do they do it just by so like could your mentor have been like a crack or a heroin guy? Because it's all
I guess choose. So like there's different programs for everything. Like you can go to like Marijuana Anonymous or like whatever, like every substance has a program.
I want to go to Marijuana Anonymous.
I think it would be kind kind of fun. Like
it's just a place to meet drug dealers.
There'd be snacks.
It's a great place to meet drug dealers.
Bunch of snacks. Everyone's super chill.
Everybody's like having a good time, being like, you know what? It really doesn't impact my life at all.
I know, right?
Yeah, I kind of do it at night, and I feel good, and I'm having fun. I'm getting
helps me sleep, get a good night's rest.
Helps me sleep. So
I'm able to work. I'm excelling so much at work now that I get these full 9-hour rests at night.
My real problem is that because of the weed, I'm excelling so much, I've developed a gambling problem with my spirit.
With all the extra income that I'm bringing in now that I can rest more and work those full days, the gambling has really ruined my life.
Just microdosing weed all day. Microdosing vodka. No, boss, I'm microdosing.
Did you ever try, is it called boofing when you put the alcohol up your butt? You didn't get to that point?
So no. we didn't get the answers though. Your sponsor, did he do alcohol also?
Yes. So you choose, but like I have like a tree now. So it's like 5 people go up above my current sponsor. So like
Amway.
One falls off. Yeah, one falls off. I just go up the tree. One falls off. I go up the tree.
Oh, so you
get a little bit more. You get to drive a Jack Daniels mobile around
you're gonna get a pink. You're gonna get a pink Cadillac once you get a few more under you. It's gonna be
great. I feel like if you could get your sponsor to start drinking again, then go to the next one, and then you'd beat the boss sponsor, you win.
That's how it should. That's like AA needs to be like Highlander. There can only be one.
So there can only be one. Who is the best alcoholic?
I've sabotaged all of you. There's Baileys in the coffee.
I always thought the Highlander premise is great, but the movie sucks so bad. Like I wish they would remake that.
It is.
I like the Highlander premise.
I've seen it once.
I have seen it once. Yeah.
Yeah. Sean Connery.
It's been a while.
For some reason, they have the main guy. I think he's from like Belgium or somewhere, and they have him pretend like he's Scottish. And then they have fucking Sean Connery, a true Scotsman, come in and play a Spaniard. It makes the casting is absolutely absurd.
And the entire time he's playing the Spaniard, he's talking like this.
That's exactly how he sounds.
Right, and he's talking to someone who's supposed to be Scottish, and he's got it. And the Scottish guy's not even close to it.
He's got one of those he's got one of those ponytails you would expect a conquistador to wear. He's got like the earring. He's like, I think his name is Ramirez or something.
On the level of like, look at me, I'm Spanish.
That's it.
This is my Spanish accent.
This is my Spanish accent. This is my Woody doing Indian accent. It becomes Indian eventually.
Josh, are you anyone's second level sponsor, or are you all junior sponsor?
I love how into.
Are you a grand sponsor yet?
No, yeah. I am not a grand. I only have.
You're not.
I've actually had
like a dad sponsor. Just
no. So like I worked my program pretty
about
quick.
Guest booking.
I want a grand sponsor.
Who is the grand Cyclops of alcoholism?
Well, I'm a grand Cyclops, and I do enjoy my whiskey.
How many people?
We don't. We're against drinking, and we're incredibly racist.
How many people do you have under you now? Just one?
2, actually.
2.
But
Dudes?
The first thing my sponsor told me is this is not a cult. I was like, I think that's something a cult leader would tell me.
Yeah. Now, is there any circumstance where you could get like some hot underling sponsor-ettes and maybe manipulate them?
So men have like it's a man, woman suggestion.
See, I don't like that at all.
That's not how God wanted
I get most of my knowledge from The Sopranos, where Christopher got that smoking hot sponsorette. You know, the I can't think of the actress's name, but she's just
that
gorgeous.
was unrealistic. Now that I'm thinking about that plot.
Yeah. What was unrealistic is that she was attracted to Christopher.
Yeah, Christopher, ugly as shit.
Or Tony.
But wait, did she know he was rich?
Was
He's
Christopher
not
even
rich? All right. Yeah, he actually is rich. He's making like $700,000 a year or something, at least.
How much
are we good walking around cash?
How much do you think we're supposed to assume that like Tony Soprano made?
Tony Soprano's net worth is between $5 and $8 million, depending on when you're watching the show.
See, I don't like that. I feel like I want it to be higher than that.
Yeah, I'm same.
Well, it would be higher than that, but like as Tony's like Jewish buddies always say,
I don't want
like
child actors on the Disney Channel out earning Tony Soprano.
The more comes in, the more he spends, right? Like he's always buying a new Stugatz. There's Stugatz 1 and Stugatz 2, his boat.
Is that a
Yeah, he's got to get that $3 million boat, and his house is worth like, what did he say, $1.2 million? Of course, this is 1999 money, something like that.
Fair enough. So then that's like
he's
really
in the same house the whole time, right?
He is, and wonderful.
The one
house.
thing that would have been okay to dump more money into.
Yeah,
maybe not. Maybe to attract attention.
You look at his backyard, and he's like, he did everything he could to spend money. Where it's like, you fill the whole thing up with a pool and like a cabana house and in a bar and a grill. Like, it is the behavior of some Italian
man-child.
Yeah, a man-child. It's exactly what an Italian criminal with a lot of money would do, which is why that show's so great.
Yeah, among other reasons.
Among other reasons, yeah. There's a million. I want to rewatch that show.
Is it time to shift to one of our funny topics? Yeah, I'll say that. That's not insulting to Josh. I'm not.
No,
because your stuff wasn't funny. It wasn't meant
as
to be
hilarious
funny.
as we think your alcoholism may be.
See, that's the point. We all just sit in meetings and laugh about ourselves.
It's kind of dark stuff. Like it's fun to like have poke fun at dark stuff because it makes it easier to tolerate. You know, when bad things have happened, to go back and laugh at it a little bit. And the more you do that, the easier it is to go back and like think about it. Yeah. It's not that like thorn in your mind anymore. Right. But that being said, it still is. Yeah. That's a rough time. I'm glad you've pulled out of it. I'm glad you've got. Who's your sponsor now? Your current sponsor, the guy you go to if you're feeling like a Bud Light seltzer. Is he a solid guy? Do you think?
Oh yeah. So like the idea is you're supposed to. Your sponsor is someone you look up to, someone you aspire to be. So like if that's characterly or whatever, it's like so I aspire to be him. So I think he's a solid dude.
Good.
I think he'll be my sponsor for like the foreseeable future.
Don't seize up on us.
Yeah, I do have. I have like a slight bit of neurological damage from the amount that I drank.
Do you think that's repairable, or is that
from falling?
I don't know if it's from the amount I was drinking, from the seizures, or from the fall, but
Goodness.
yeah.
Wow.
Well, the
So
brain's amazing.
My tongue gets fat. Is what I always say.
Yeah.
I just like stumble over words.
That never happened before?
You're pretty fucking eloquent on the show so far.
Yeah, you would have me fooled. I didn't notice anything, but I appreciate you sharing all that. That's like a dark side of it that you don't see as often as you should, and with how just over the top it's promoted, normalized.
Remind me again, what state are you in?
Washington.
So, you got all the shit there too. So dude, get out of Washington. What are you thinking? No, it's Oregon. It's Oregon.
You picked up alcohol to take a tolerance break from weed, right? Tell me how close I am on this. You had a YouTube channel where you smoke weed, and you did almost like impressive stunts with weed. Watch me smoke.
I excessively abused cannabis. Yeah, I excessively abused cannabis for many years.
So then that wasn't working for you. Maybe depression, I forget. And you came off the weed and got onto alcohol, and that turned out to be a bigger problem than the weed we were trying to fix.
I have had at the point undiagnosed bipolar. Now medicated and diagnosed and everything. So I was like having manic episodes and depressed episodes, and then I lost my YouTube channel, which just like sent me in a fucking manic spiral and a depressive spiral. So it was just like I picked up alcohol at that point, and then I was still smoking weed a lot during that. But then I came off everything, and now it's just I smoke when I have to work, and I smoke at night. So
that was 2018 you lost your channel, right? End of 2018?
I believe it was like, end of 20. I believe it was like mid to end of 2018. Yeah.
How quick? Just like I know we can get off of it, but how quick was the acceleration from picking up the drinking after your channel went before it was like, oh my goodness, this is ruining my life. This is destroying I can't get any work done. I'm having seizures. I'm having to wake up and take shots in the night.
So I didn't start drinking until 21. Like I had like a drink in high school, maybe. Like it wasn't for me. So I started drinking at 21 socially. I started at like probably by 20. I'm 26 now. So 23 is when I like really started. And about 6 months in, I couldn't work anymore. I was just sleeping all day. I was like laying in bed and like, yeah.
So it accelerated so quickly.
Insanely quickly. Like normally this is a 10, 20 year progression. For me, it happened in a year. I was also on stimulants. Yeah, I was also on stimulants, so that like accelerated the amount that I could drink.
Which ones?
Adderall was my main.
Good one. Like, when you took Adderall, did the bottle say amphetamine salts or did it say Adderall?
Amphetamine salts.
Okay.
And I was taking about 300 milligrams a day.
Is there a difference?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not. It's one of those things that I memorize and then forget a week later. Adderall's better. It feels better.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
By the way, Teddy, your speedrun joke was awesome. It went unappreciated.
Something about
that was. I agree.
Something about the dopamine. Something about the dopamine receptor, and the way Adderall does like two things at the same time. Like maybe it triggers the dopamine receptor and stimulates your nervous system at the same time. Whereas amphetamine salts is more on the stimulation side and less on the pleasurable side. But if you have a choice, you would prefer to pay like the extra whatever it is.
It's not much.
25% more for the Adderall. That's going to feel a lot better. But if you're doing it even every day, I wouldn't recommend Adderall every day. I think it's a good drug. I think that it helps a lot of people do a lot of wonderful things. But I think it should be taken 3 to 5 days a week. I don't think you should be taking Adderall on the weekends when you're relaxing. I think you've got
else about Adderall is like and maybe this is confirmation bias, but I swear to fucking God. Like I grew up I'm 30. I grew up in the 90s, and like that's when Adderall, Ritalin, all of that was getting huge. And I swear, every single kid that I was friends with in elementary school that got put on that when they were like 6, 7, 8 years old, and my mom, thank God, was like, no fucking. Of course he's acting like that. He's 6. Like that's how a 6-year-old boy is supposed to act. So she would never put me on those pills, thankfully. But all those guys are short and undersized.
They undereat.
And there's one of them I know specifically is an older brother who took it and did not grow that much. His younger brother, same genetics, obviously, way taller than he is, just because he took it less. Like, and so
I was 6'2", 155 pounds on fucking Adderall. Like,
that's disgusting.
Pretty much the same.
When I was like 16, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I got down to 6'2". I'm 6'2", and I was down to 180. Drinking and then on Adderall.
I got down to 6'2".
I got down to 6'2". I shrunk a few inches.
Yeah. I got down to 6'2".
You hate it.
I've always so like I use Xanax to fly because I have anxiety, but like it's never been a drug that I've been like, ooh, let's go take a Xanax.
To me, it's not even that powerful. Like whenever I was so disappointed when I was getting that cancer surgery on my eyelid. I think the first one, like when they were just gonna like shave the the tumor off my eyelid before they knew it was a tumor. They were like, oh yeah, we're gonna give you a Xanax, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You better give me a bottle of fucking Xanax and then gas me. They're like, no, we're going to give you one Xanax and then we're going to inject a local into your eye. And I'm just like,
no, we don't have any Xanax, but we're going to give you 5 shots tequila and we have this hot tub.
Right.
I feel like you guys don't have fentanyl
It'll
back
feel
there?
like anesthesia. like you ever wondered what anesthesia feels like? Well, this is kind of like that. It's 5 shots of tequila in a hot tub. No, I want actual anesthetic. Well, we don't know about that. It's not like you're going in for surgery. You're cutting it off my eye. No, they gave me that fucking Xanax, and they were like, now be careful with these. You don't want to get. And they gave me this fucking Xanax, and I took it, and I was just like, I felt.
They gave you one?
They gave me one. They gave me one.
So like you could enjoy your ride home?
No, like they gave it to me like an hour before. Like I'm sitting in the pre-op bed with the IV in my arm and like all the like heart sensor things, the blood oxygen shit. I'm hooked up to the machines, and pre-op, and they give me that fucking Xanax and they put some numbing eye drops in my fucking eye, and that was it.
How much did it hurt, Kyle? Did it hurt a lot?
It was so goddamn painful.
Was it really? I thought
my
the
toes
local
were
would work.
curling. Oh, the local is what hurt. The local is what hurt. Them like
it's a
I
big
got
needle,
no problem with needles. Like no problem at all. They don't bother me a bit. But they used a pretty big needle and they stuck it in my eye and in my eyelid. And like they had to do it 3, maybe 4 times. And every time they go in, he goes, little pinch here. And it felt like someone was hammering a fucking 10-penny nail into my goddamn eyelid. But you don't want to move because obviously they're sticking a needle in your eye.
Don't squeeze, you're going to have a lot more problems than this cancer.
Yeah. So like I just remember vividly my toes in my like shoes curling up. Like me just like squeezing with my toes and squeezing like with my fists and just going, and they're going, yeah, I know it hurts. I'm sorry. I know one more. Here we go. It's all right. One more. I'm like, you just said one more. Well, I meant 3 more. Here we go.
I've had a similar experience, but it wasn't my eye. I've had it in my leg and maybe an arm or something. But basically, picture a big cut, right? So you go into the hospital to get stitches because you've got your cut's whatever, 3/4 of an inch wide.
Yeah.
So they inject painkiller into my open wound so that they can like do internal stitches and then external stitches.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, they didn't tell me a little pinch. They're like, now this painkiller, it burns. And it's like, you're injecting pain that burns into an open wound. I don't know that this is even lightening my pain. I'm just investing in pain. Like I'm doing it now so that later I have less. And in the end, I like to think my total pain was the same. I could have had stitches with no painkiller.
They can be assholes or they can be really chill about it. What I've always appreciated when getting like, I don't know if I've had a cut that big, but I've had a lot of like 4 to 6 stitch cuts. And they'll take is it lidocaine? I think it's lidocaine.
It might be.
Local numbing.
And they'll squirt it into the wound first. They'll just squirt lidocaine onto the open wound and wait 30 seconds.
You can do that?
Then they've done that for me before. And then they'll inject it into like...
Dude, I had 45 stitches, and they got like an intern to do it. They were all incredibly loose. They didn't actually pull the wound together. After it was done, it looked like the same wound, but Frankenstein.
Like
yeah, my doctor, like back when I got home, it happened in West Virginia, I think. When I got home, he's like, "Oh, let's see how they do it in West Virginia," and he's like, well, I'd have made them tighter. They didn't do anything. They were the worst stitches. And my leg, even now, like 30 years later, has these big like divots missing out the side of it.
Yeah, it's like you told them like, well, not too tight. I want to look tough. I want people to know I fucked my leg up.
Oh, and then the painkiller wore off during the stitches. Like the last 5 or so were just Rambo style. Where you grit your teeth.
Not paying enough for this with our health insurance.
Yeah, and like it was. I'm sorry, I'm taking the topic off of Josh, but all the nurses in the room and shit were like, "This guy's awful." Like it was taking so long, they were so loose, and I'm like, "Argh!" And all the nurses are like, "Are you seeing this? Like, are you seeing this? Like, this isn't even Western medicine anymore."
Yeah, this is.
I always give the nurses and doctors like a pep talk. Like I want them to feel like I imagine that if I was doing something that I'm pretty good at, that if the people I was working with were like pumping me up, I'd try to excel and meet their expectations. So I'm just like, "Oh, you're a professional, huh? Damn, you're doing a good job. Woo, you've done this before, haven't you?" The whole time it's just compliments, and because I want them to be like, "Man, he thinks a lot of me. I better really do my best work here." Like if I was doing a little carpentry, if I was like nailing somebody's deck down or something like that, they're like, "Wow, Kyle, how many years did you study?" I'd be like, "He thinks a lot of me. I better get these edges just right with the skill saw." Like, does this have the laser setting? Yeah, it does. Yeah, we're gonna do a good job here.
Pre-surgery, I set him up for success. I tell him all the things I write him a letter. And I'm like, "Hey, to the anesthesiologist." I'm one of those guys that comes out of general anesthesia super nauseous, and like a lot of people do, but I'm like a top 1%er. It's a guarantee. So hey, you know what? Before I even get up, give me some of that good shit, right? Whatever it is. And the anesthesiologist is never like, "Ooh, he's just trying to get extra nausea drugs out of me." That's not what happened. They're just like, "Oh, good to know. Yeah, that way now we won't have a diving save in the recovery room from a guy who's vomiting all over the place." And if it's like last surgery, I was having my leg operated on, I think, and I marked it. This is the leg. This is the one. Like it. X and a yes or so. Like there was no chance that they go into the wrong knee. I set them up.
I think I had my knee surgery doctor actually came in and like verified and marked and then signed the knee.
Yeah, they did that for me. It turns out that maybe that was unnecessary, but it was I was pre-marked from home. They're like, "Oh, I see. This is
If I could get one prescription drug and just have it on hand, it would be that anti-nausea medication, because it's so incredibly. Because every now and then, you'll just you'll get sick, whether it's food poisoning or whatever. And I realize maybe it wouldn't be good for food poisoning, because I think you do need to like vomit all that up to be safe. But like sometimes you're just sick. You're just sick, and like the vomiting isn't helping you. It's just a symptom. And I would love to have a little vial of that fucking anti-nausea stuff and just I guess it's not intermuscular, it'd be intravenous, but I'll stick it in my vein. Like there's sometimes where I'm so sick and I've been so sick that I'm just like, fucking, let's go.
It can be intravenous, like you said, but ever have a Listerine strip, where you put it on your tongue and it dissolves into good breath? Like
sublingual.
They have that in anti-nausea.
Give me the bottle.
They give it to kids a lot. Yeah. Like with the kids that won't take medicine, that won't take a pill, that maybe you don't want to stick. They can just ninja that shit on their tongue. And then like against their will, they've taken this drug and now they feel better and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Ha! Fooled you, moron. Now you're not gonna vomit.
Yeah. Like the kids so feel sick, better. They can barely.
I wouldn't care if it was suppositories. Just give me that anti-nausea shit.
Honestly, like it's easy to talk about because like you usually go a long time between vomits unless you just have like a huge problem with the stomach flu, which poor you if you do. But like you always forget about how bad the stomach flu is, and then you'll like get one of those gut flus like once in a blue moon, like many years in between. You're like, "Oh, what does being healthy feel like?" Vomiting. You're like trying to be healthy and like, "All right, I just need to drink a ton of Gatorade," and then like you get a bunch down, and it's like, "Oh, got to go buy more Gatorade because this is coming up right now."
Beads of sweat on your forehead, kind of have to throw up, but you're not throwing up as you hold the toilet, and you're like, "I forgot how horrible this is."
This is you try and go to bed, and it's like, "I'm so cold, but I'm so hot."
Yeah.
Sweat.
I will say this: I'm one of those people that like if I feel like I might need to throw up, I'm like, "No, we are going to throw up." Like I go do it because there's a chance that immediately we're going to feel 100% better.
There is.
And like be on the other side of this thing if we just vomit right now.
Yeah, some people are like so anti-vomiting that it's like, oh, I think I ate something rough. I feel terrible. It's like that might be your body telling you to get it out before any more of this process.
Listen.
It's like, no, I don't want to. I'm gonna defy my body. It's like, okay, well then enjoy the next 7 hours of just increasingly worse and worse. You could have had half the total diarrhea you're now gonna have.
Right.
And it's good for other things, right? Like if you've got,
you're good.
It's good for your blood pressure. Doctors do prescribe it for blood pressure in people. And like if you're a guy who goes to the gym, it's good for vascularity. You'll get a better pump.
Yeah. Yeah, blood pressure is going to be a real problem in my future if I keep up with
is going to be. When's the last time you got it checked, fucko?
It was just a couple months ago. My blood pressure was fine. My cholesterol was at like was in the, it was at the very like lowest end of, you need to get something done. Like you need to.
Why do old people have high blood pressure? I don't, by the way. 120/80. Checked it on Tuesday.
I think it's lack. I think it's an old timey diet and a combination of that and lack of cardiovascular exercise. I think it's the two.
Right. Inactivity.
Sure.
Yeah, they're eating that old thick cut bacon and sitting on the couch.
I'm half guilty. I've got a pretty good diet right now and no cardio.
Yeah, I mean that might be the ticket to you to like, because. I
get low blood pressure? Could I overachieve if I get some cardio?
Yeah. My blood pressure got low not too long ago. It was a thing. One of them did. There's the systolic and then the other one.
Dystolic,
I'm certainly not an
maybe?
expert. Yeah. Are you sleeping as well since you haven't been working out as much?
Yeah. So I haven't been working out
because of the hand, obviously.
Yeah. Because my hand is broken. Last workout was Thursday, so almost a week now.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not sleeping as well. The first day is literally the pain would wake me up. Like it does hurt. Well, it especially did. Like it hurts less now. And but then like bad sleep hygiene led to more bad sleep hygiene, and you just kind of get off the schedule, and nothing's regulating me right now.
Yeah, I've been having my night sweats a lot this week. It's incredibly awful. I just brought another comforter in and put it on my bed so I could stop washing the sheets. I sweat so much.
Have you said what causes that?
No one knows. No one knows. There's like 4 different causes. None of them are the culprit. And then the 5th is hyper sweatiness. And they're like, we don't know. Like, wait, no, that's the symptom. No, it's the cause. And I'm like, I don't get hyper sweaty when I work out or when I do cardio. I sweat a normal amount. Yeah, you've got hyper sweatiness. So like I'll wake up and just be drenched.
Even in a cold room?
Oh. So
did you just say you bought more comforters?
I was trying to figure that out too.
To sleep on top of. So that I'm not sweating into sheets that I then have to wash immediately. Like I need something absorbent to sleep on. For reals, it's crazy.
Pal's got those nights, like dog piddle pads.
It's awful. Like 3 nights last week, I woke up so drenched that like I usually wear like a tank top to bed or something like that, and some underwear, and I'll get up and have to like peel the fucking tank top off. Like it's stuck to me. Like I'll have to like right arm on my left side, left arm on my right side, and like do that like peel it off of you thing, and it's like. Like when I throw it on my tile floor, it goes flop. Like you hear it hit the floor. And
you don't sweat a lot like the gym or during like the day, like you're not like pitted out constantly.
Like if I were to like run 3 or 4 miles, I'd sweat a normal amount. It wouldn't be like weird or anything. But something I think I am having nightmares. I do, that does happen a lot, so that might have something to do with it.
Are you on that dream meds for sleeping?
I do take my dream meds, but I'm certainly not going to blame Derek's product for my night terrors and sweats.
Well, not terrors,
I don't think that's related.
It does say lucid dreams on it. Something like
I do have lucid dreams.
You take any kind of like medication
or something though?
You could
any other medication for sleeping? Like melatonin or?
Oh yeah, I take a whole I
melatonin
take like 5
is
pills.
in the recipe Kyle takes that gives lucid dreams.
Okay.
Yeah, I do the sublingual melatonin plus the Gorilla Dream, and plus I take like an over-the-counter like Tylenol PM type sleeping pill.
Right.
I like to be knocked out.
You do, yeah. Is this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
otherwise I wake up in the night, like 3-4 times.
I have to take like quetiapine, which is like kind of underneath what's the really bad one that makes people like sleepwalk? Ambien.
Oh,
it's like right underneath Ambien.
It'll also make you tweet racist things.
Only if you're Roseanne.
I Kyle, I wonder if you're on a counterproductive
cocktail of sweatiness.
Well, no, I guess I'm not saying the words, but it's like I know that sometimes you take stims during the day. You might take a caffeine pill or something to make the most out of your day, and then you take things to help you sleep at night. And those things are kind of, it's like you've got the heater on and the air conditioner on, and you're letting them fight.
The one thing last week, I didn't take any stims. I like backed off the caffeine to like get my tolerance back down. Maybe not being on the caffeine made me have those like night sweats. I don't know. I don't mind. It's super gross though. Like I hate it. Like I usually get up and take a shower.
Huh. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm wrong because my Jackie has ADHD. My wife Jackie, and so she takes Adderall, and then sometimes she takes something to help her sleep, and sometimes I don't know. Like they just start battling each other, and it can be like, well, maybe the problem with sleeping is related to our Adderall during the day, and then like perhaps the move away from the long release to something else so that it's
long release is a I'm not
don't like that.
I'm not a doctor, but I'll say this: long release makes me feel very odd. It is a uncomfortable feeling, like an antsiness, a just not comfortable in your own skin, sitting down kind of feeling, and going to sleep is impossible on long release if you don't time it so perfectly. Like if you try to go to sleep while it's still active in your system, in my case, it's just not happening. And attempting to do so is almost painful. It's so like I'm exhausted, but I'm also being stimulated. It's terrible. It's terrible.
That sucks. I have
the instant release is like, it's like anything else. It's like caffeine. It's got that half-life. It's like this is going to end, 4 hours from now, it's half of it's gone. 8 hours from now, it's all gone. And there's a crash too. So like instant release will actually help you sleep in my case. My personal experience.
Her experience, that crash is too early. When she doesn't take the long release, she's ruined at like 3 p.m. That's not what she's looking for.
Well, I just have a little,
Dose twice a day.
I'm not a doctor, but if I had those issues, I'll say this: I would try to like lower my tolerance by taking like a 2-week break, and then take half as much twice a day.
Okay. When you said lower your tolerance, I processed it wrong. And I'm
like
just
go
take
without
twice
it for a
as
while.
much, I guess. To like,
how much? Do you know what her dosage is?
No.
Yeah, if she's taking like say 25 milligrams plus, it's a hefty dose for XR, extended release. I don't know. I'm weird about Adderall and in general because on one hand I do think it's like almost that limitless pill, but on the other I recognize that it is an amphetamine, and the XR I would rather hit my fucking foot with a hammer every day than take XR every day. It's so bad.
You don't like it. I take that modafinil, but very rarely. I've probably taken 5 total now. What is it? How do you pronounce it?
I think it's modafinil. That's how I've heard it.
Modafinil. Okay. And but the last so before I half the dose, which is the next thing I'll try, I tried taking it early. The day I broke my finger, I had a really big day. I was going to ride my motorcycle 2 hours to the trails all day long, 2 hours home. I'm like, today's a modafinil day. And I had to get up early, so I took it at like 6:30 a.m. And I'm like, maybe it won't impact my sleep because I don't know if I've ever gotten it this early before. Mm-hmm. But I came home with a broken finger and didn't sleep well, and I don't know what to blame it on.
Yeah, the pain definitely contributed to it, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But I've only taken the extended release a couple times, and both times it was just torturous. A girl gave it to me one night, and that like ruined the next night. Like I took it at like 5 a.m. or something. It was probably a really hefty dose, and then the next night at the end of the next day, because we went and filmed all day. I long story short, I fucked her all night long. And then she gave me this pill.
Tight, bro. Dude, bro, that is so fucking tight. High five.
Not really. She was pretty ugly. And it was a shameful fuck. And then she gave me that pill so that I could like, get the day's work done because I had to go film. I think it was that video where like there's a big pile of watermelons and I use a 50 cal, and maybe we go to like, maybe it's when we go take like an armor.
This hardly narrows it down.
I know, no. I think it's the one, we go
that one.
I'm gonna narrow it. It's the one where we go to like McDonald's and an APC or something like that.
Wait, is that the one with like all the 2 liters of cheap soda?
No, it's the other one. And so at the end of that day, like after like no sleep for, I don't know, 48 hours or something like that, and like working hard for 2 days in a row, I was just laying in the back of the truck trying to go to sleep while the film crew was inside of McDonald's, and just laying there, needing sleep, wanting sleep, being completely drained of all energy and drive to move. But my brain is like, go time, go time, go time, go time, go time. And I'm just like, oh, this is the worst thing I've ever experienced. This is the worst thing I've ever experienced. I hate XR.
I don't know. That sounds shitty.
I was on XR for a week. And then I was like, I need this changed immediately because same thing. I couldn't sleep. I felt like there was like ants under my skin. I was like itching. I would be laying in bed, like just fucking my head going. It made me like anxious, but my body was like you said, exhausted.
Were you drinking while you were on the Adderall?
So I feel like those two
would be
I had a period of like 6 months where I was taking it as prescribed, and like so I do have ADHD, so now I'm on Wellbutrin for it, and it sucks. But I had like a 6 month period where it was normal, and then I started drinking on it. So
what is it like drinking on that? Can you like not even hardly get drunk because it's battling back?
Basically, like that's why I was drinking so much, was because like I was on stimulants, and then I was just like, I didn't want to pass out midday, so I'd drink into the point where I was almost passing out, take an Adderall, and keep drinking because like I could.
A winning combination.
Right? But then what would happen would like all the alcohol would build up in my body. And at the end of the night, when the Adderall wore off, it would just fucking crash me, and I would be done. I'd just fall asleep like in my studio, in my chair, wherever I was laying.
And then wake up feeling like absolute ass 2 in the morning.
Yeah, just start the process over.
Man, I'm like cranky if I wake up at like 3, feeling like I have to pee. I'm all warm. This is bullshit. Like I can't imagine waking up being like, I need to try and shaky handily get shots in me, and you're probably the amount of vomiting you probably have to do.
There was one morning where I went to a 7-Eleven and I was just trying to fucking put my card in the machine to buy the alcohol, and I was like two-handed, like, motherfucker, go in the slot. Like I could not get my card into the ATM reader.
Jeez.
And that was a moment where I was like, oh shit. No, I got it eventually, but it took me like 35 seconds.
that was a moment when you realized you had a problem.
I had a few sips of White Claw, and then it steadied me up, so I got it in.
And the guy just looked at me with eyes of like, it was 6 a.m. Like he had to go open the liquor cabinet for me, so I was the first one to buy. And yeah, he just looked at me like, you idiot.
Was it embarrassing? Like, there's a late night show host. I don't think he's working anymore.
Craig Ferguson.
Yes. And he thought being an alcoholic was very embarrassing. Like the things that like he was sleeping in a gutter or, drinking too much. Were you like, man, I'm doing this and I want to, but I'm embarrassed?
I would say shame is the better. It's like, I am way fucking better than this. Like I've, from the age of 18, created a career for myself that I am now actively tearing down because I have to chase this thing that I started, basically. Yeah. So it was like, it was shameful, not so much embarrassing.
Do you feel like the marijuana-based channel like sent you in the wrong way?
It's hard.
Would you say it's a gateway drug?
The way that I was,
you did marijuana.
It's the way I was using it,
almost.
Yeah, it's the way that I was using it, and like I sit here today, and I'm like, at 35, am I gonna have COPD or emphysema from some of the stupid shit I was doing for a couple bucks on YouTube? Like, I think the way that I was using cannabis was not correct. And that's why I've shifted to like educational, like, hey, you can use weed, but use it safely. Like, be fucking careful. Like, this is still a drug.
Weed. Is that a lot?
Yeah. I'm glad you're here. I was going to ask you about that, the distillate, like the 99% pure stuff that looks like fucking meth.
Yeah.
Where do you get that? It's garbage.
It's garbage because it has no flavor, and it really doesn't get you. It doesn't get you that much higher than rosin or hash. Like if you want to get as high as possible, RSO, Rick Simpson oil. It's what cancer patients use.
Rick Simpson oil?
Yeah, it's called Rick Simpson oil, and it's alcohol extracted, and it is the most. It kind of is basically like.
Did they burn the alcohol off? I guess.
Yes, it evaporates.
Dude, Rick Simpson must be a cool guy.
He helps a lot of people actually, because this is what people use to like treat pain during chemo. Is the main purpose.
That's what we need.
Yeah, like if you eat a gram of RSO, I heard a PKA like snippet from like months ago about you talking about how you used to smoke and how you just sit there with pack bowl after bowl after bowl after bowl after bowl until time like changed.
Yeah,
like that is what RSO does, but with like one bite.
So it'd get you done way faster, apparently.
Yeah, strong dabs would definitely like cause time dilation.
Yeah.
I would just kind of come to and realize I'd been sitting there holding this in my hand I'm like, how long have I been holding this? Or even worse is like my grip would like loosen on it enough so that it rotated in my hand, and the nail would hit the back of my hand and like, okay, I'm awake. That hurts a lot.
You're just
what would fix that pain though?
Another dab.
It's a little bit of marijuana. Yeah. Something I wanted to ask about too is the Delta 8 stuff, because I'm pretty sure it's legal in every state here. A buddy of mine bought
38.
In Missouri it's legal because they sell Delta 8 at places, and he brought his little pen over and he's like, you want to try this pen? It's Delta 8. It's like, it gets you high, and you can just go to the fucking store and buy it. And I was like, no way. And I did it. It gets you high.
It gets you high.
It really does get you high. What's the scoop on this? Is this going to be illegal soon? This is just a loophole, right?
This is one of many loopholes in the Farm Bill. So the Farm Bill is a hemp act, like to sell hemp, and this falls under it because it's not Delta 9 THC, it's Delta 8 THC.
Is Delta 9 the normal, the regular?
Delta 9 is what's banned. Delta 9 is what gets you high. It's the substance that is banned.
Yeah.
So Delta 8 is like fully a loophole, and it gets you high as fuck.
It does. Like I was
so tempted to ask my probation officer about Delta 8.
It will trigger 100%.
Because it triggers the fucking drug test.
Kyle, because I was taking a hit off this thing, and it was like that dangerous thing with vapes where like I was hitting it for a while because I couldn't feel anything was happening. Like you can't feel it as you're using it, and then like you take it off and you go and like inhale, and it's like it was a huge lung rip. Like I'm like gonna cough so much I might vomit. It was
Delta 8. They metabolite test for THC. So Delta 8 and Delta 9, same fucking thing on that test.
Yeah. So, that's obviously why I don't do it. Like
drug rules are so stupid.
If it didn't trigger the drug test, then I would ask for permission to do it. Is what I would do. Like, hey, this stuff is legal. Although so are a lot of other things that I'm not allowed to do. Can I do this? I would ask that. But the fact that it triggers the test, like I wonder, would it also trigger a blood test?
If it's in your
possibly, it's weird. So I was getting metabolite tested. So I actually moved into a sober house for 6 months, for like accountability, and I got drug tested almost weekly, and like that I couldn't even do CBD because it would trigger THC. So I'm like super iffy on all metabolite and blood tests.
I heard that CBD, that I can fuck with your tests. I didn't know.
I heard about the Delta stuff a few months ago. A few of my friends have been doing it. Guys who didn't even smoke marijuana were using that stuff because it's at the gas station.
Yeah, it's just like CBD.
You drive around here, and there's a store it's called CBD Kratom. And it's just a chain.
Kratom's dangerous.
CBD Kratom, and there's a whole chain of it, and they like have big like painted things on their wall, like Delta 8, get Delta 8 here, like advertising the hell. And Kratom, I didn't really know what it was. Yeah, apparently it's like another drug that like snuck through the goalie, and it can legit. It seems like you know more. Like it's dangerous. right?
It's an opiate. Yeah, you can get super addicted to it because people that are getting off opiates usually go for it because it gives you like the same feelings. So yeah, it's super dangerous, super addictive.
Will it also trigger a drug test?
I actually don't know on that one.
It looks disgusting. If you go in those stores,
it looks like
it's just a big
heroin.
pot of like brown powder.
Doesn't sound disgusting.
Like I just want to have a good time. Maybe have a good stream.
Do you know who Dave Joyce is, the congressman?
Mm-mm.
So kind of interesting to me. He's a Republican congressman from Ohio who put forward a marijuana legalization bill.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I generally think it's the Democrats who lead the way on marijuana legalization, but here's a Republican sort of leading the way. And I read his bill, and I read other people who I'm not a lawyer. And I read other people who did their analysis on it, and apparently it's just pretty good. Like, it legalizes pot, and it's not like a scam or anything like that. I will say, the Democrat legalization bill has good shit in it that are kind of poison pills to Republicans. They don't want to forgive all past felons, for example. Republicans don't. So this Republican bill doesn't do that. It doesn't expunge any records or any of that cool shit. This thing just makes pot legal, and it makes dispensaries able to use banks and stuff like that.
Right.
But it doesn't.
It'll probably be a stepping stone bill. They probably won't do a big sweeping thing. But then who knows? Once the marijuana is legal, the push for all these actions might become so much lessened that it's all right, well, we satiated most of the people's concerns out there, and so we really don't need to pursue this further.
That's it. Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Do you have one opportunity to do this all the way, or can you do it step by step? I don't know the answer.
No,
I think it should be done step by step because the states that have done it all at once usually fuck up. I think specifically economic impacts, positive economic impacts in taxes is what's going to shift Republicans' views on it. Because a lot of money is going into school, a lot of money is going into a lot of stuff.
Yeah, look at Colorado. Roads. I think multiple years in a row after Colorado what was it, 2014 or so when they legalized it? Years after that, it was yeah, they're making more money from pot shit than they are from the sin tax on booze. And so they doubled all of this.
It's $3 to $5 billion a year or something.
I agree with everything you said.
It is inflated because it was a tourist spot for it, but even so.